Okay, so we're now on question 1b. Oh, say hello to Buttons. Buttons wants to come in, but I'll just finish this video. Okay, using a single loop, write an algorithm in pseudocode to output 50 names that have been stored in the array name bracket bracket. So the first thing I want to do is I want to declare the array. Now if you look at the mark scheme, actually there are no marks in the mark scheme for doing this, but it's a really good habit to get into, and also the more you practice declaring them, actually at some point we'll probably have to declare one in this paper. Okay, so we just write the word declare. Okay, then we need to put what the name of the thing we're declaring, so it is name. Then we have colon, and we're declaring an array. Then we need to know how big the array is going to be. So it tells us in the question there are 50 names, so it's going to be 1 to 50. And then lastly, the data type. Well, because it's name, so it's going to be strings. So I'm just going to fit that in. There we go. So I've declared it. Now we need a loop. Now, because we know how many names there are 50 names in this array, then I would suggest using the for loop to do this. Now this is different to the mark scheme, and it's entirely up to you which type of loop you use, but I think it's more straightforward to use a for loop to do this, and it's the one we've practiced the most as well. So we know how many names are in the array. There are 50. If we want a loop that's going to run for a set number of times, then we use a for loop. So let's go ahead and do that. So for, now we need a variable for the loop to use to store the numbers as it's counting. So let's go ahead and give it a name. So for loop. Now this can be whatever you want it to be. The only thing it can't be is the same as something else that you've used. So I couldn't use name, for example, for this. So this is just going to store the numbers as the loop's going around. So I could make it a little bit more individual or pertinent. So I'm calling it loop name because that's what we're doing. We're printing out names from the loop, and we're going to assign that 1 to 50 because we know how many there are in there. Okay, right. So next thing we want to do is, so as that loop goes around, loop name is going to be assigned the value 1 first of all, then it'll be 2, then it'll be 3, then it'll be 4, until it gets to 50, and then it'll stop. So we can actually use that now to output what we want. So we want to output name, which is the array, loop name. So how this will work is loop name will start off at 1, so we'll output name 1, what's in position 1, or the first name of the array. Then we'll go around again, and then we'll output loop name will be assigned 2. We'll output name 2, so the second element of the array. We go around again, loop name becomes 3, output name 3, the third element from the array, and so on. There's one last thing we need to do just to finish off our loop, otherwise it'll cost us a mark, is to write next loop name, and that will do it. That will get you the 3 marks. Obviously if you look at the mark scheme, they use a while loop. It's okay, Buttons, you can come in a second. They use a while loop, so have a look at that, and if there's anything I go through on through these questions and you want to ask me a question about it, please do, or please just pop in quickly and see me next lesson. Okay, right. I mean during the week. Right. Okay, I'll let Buttons in now because she wants her breakfast, and I'll see you in the next video.